And did it?
It just started again.
Oh, weird. Um, Sounds weird. Oh, it's on the ocean one. It was on the
I was
pink.
like, it got louder, it got quiet, got louder.
I'll turn it back to the pink noise because it's kind of annoying. Or I'll just turn it off. I think I can turn it off, and he'll be fine. Um, so yeah, so the Pitocin, that was my whole reason behind it, was anytime that I've seen it, a cesarean usually happens. And again, C-section moms, you guys are fucking rock stars because your body not only goes through all of this shit, especially unplanned ones, you go through all of this and then you get tore open and they rip open your abs and they fucking just tear you apart and fucking pull a baby out from your stomach, from your abdomen. And then you can't do fucking anything. You can't really lift your baby. Like if I had to lift him at his 2-week mark, he would have been too heavy. Like I would need you to stay home, or Aunt Julie would have to live with us or something. Like someone would have had to move in because you can't carry a car seat.
You need help for sure.
For sure. I mean, I needed help vaginally too, but cesarean moms just fucking, they're so much crazier.
Well, and I think
So much more intense on your body.
what we were going through, what you were going through, was your water broke. You went into labor.
Mm-hmm. Which, okay, by the way, that was my main thing that I wanted to prove everyone wrong on, because everyone's like, your water doesn't break. That's not what happens. So I wanted to prove everyone wrong that my water could break.
So
and
Amanda took a coat hanger and no, I'm just kidding.
No, I took my vibrator and I fucking
like,
gave myself
your
multiple orgasms.
You're like, I was washing the dishes and all of a sudden my water broke.
I was actually organizing the cabinet underneath the sink. I just got done masturbating and I took it. And
Amanda was on a Sybian and she's like, and she's like, oh my God, oh fuck. Oh, fuck.
No,
and then her water broke.
Because I was knelt down and I remember bending in a way where I was like, this probably isn't the safest way to bend right now. Because it was like, it was a weird angle. And I was like trying to get underneath the sink because I was trying to see something. So to see how dirty it was so I could clean it with chemicals. And I decided to bend my body in a weird way. And it was almost like my rib popped the sack. Like... like because it clicked right underneath my ribs and it was like a loud like pop noise and I was like, oh, what was that? And I kind of got freaked out for a minute and then all of a sudden there's fluid all over the floor and chair and I was like, my water just broke. And it was like slightly, like it was just like the not pink, it was like it was like a slight hueish pink.
Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Weird.
And then it looked like aquafaba juice, which if no one knows what that is the garbanzo bean juice.
So it was like kind of opaque, slightly.
No, it wasn't opaque. It was just clear and like.
But aquafaba's milky.
No, it doesn't look milky in the can. It's clear in the can.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. I'll show you tomorrow because I plan on making hummus. Hummus. So yeah, so my water broke and that was really what I was trying to prove people wrong on. And then I tried to prove people wrong on the whole laboring without drugs and that was stupid.
Yeah. You just went through 27 hours of labor and then decided to get drugs.
Which is crazy because the more stories I see on that, the more they do not do that. So the fact that I was able...
I think you were in a good zone and
I was able to control my body because I wanted the drugs so bad that I was like, because that was her main thing. Katie looked at me and she was like, if you can't hold still, we can't do them. And I held still as fucking I've ever held. I don't think I've ever been that still in my life. And I was breathing. I know I held onto your hand really hard.
They were doing them in between contractions.
Yeah, that was crazy. That moment, I think, was a weird, surreal moment because I just remember we were doing good. Everything was fun. And I felt like I was on like the train to getting into labor, like it was going to happen any minute. And then we were 8 centimeters dilated when she first checked.
Yeah, she's like 8.5 maybe.
And then I went back to 7.
Yeah, your cervix started to swell.
And then there was part of, you explained the sac part where they popped the rest of it, right?
Yeah. So basically, there's like,
I feel like the story's all over the place.
you think of your water breaking. There's a balloon and it gets popped. All the water comes out. Well, sometimes this balloon's in a bowl with a hole at the bottom, and if it pops at the top, most of the water might come out, but not all of it. It still might be held by part of the balloon in the bowl, blocking the hole. So they're like, well, we need to make sure that all of it's popped for sure. Make sure there's nothing blocking. So basically, they take like this piece of plastic with they have nice words for it, but it's basically a soft hook.
Pretty much.
That they put up your vagina to rip out burst the little bubble.
Yeah.
So,
and which is the most painful fucking experience ever for them to reach their hand in there.
With their little coat hanger thing.
Yeah, they go in there, and so getting a cervical check too is also really fucking painful. I told him to come in quiet because it is going really good. So, I mean, the dogs can bark up there, whatever.
They're 30 minutes away.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah.
So she like stuck her hand up there. So cervical checks, those fucking hurt. If you can imagine the bone inside your cervix just getting like manhandled by, I don't know, fucking a metal bar. That's what it feels like.
Like someone's crowbarring.
Hand, yeah, but it's just their hand. That's just skin on bone. And so that happens. And then when they're popping it, it was so much more fucking worse. But then when they popped it, it gave me like a relief. Mm-hmm. So then like the contractions, I was like, oh, there's like a good relief. And she was like, you're going to feel relief. And then it got immediately fucking worse. And and it happened from 0 to 60. And so I do remember a really vivid moment where right after that, Katie's getting me into a better situation. She's like trying to get me in a better position. And that's another thing. He was sunny side up, so he wasn't in the right position to be birthed.
Yeah, which basically means like if you're laying on your back and you're looking at the ceiling, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be facing the other way.
Yeah. And so she gets me in like a better position. And I remember I'm like knees down. She kind of lowers the lower half of the bed. This bed can do so many fucking things. She lowers the bottom half of the bed. She has me leaned up against the top half of it. So she made it into like a staircase, basically. And I'm on all fours, and she starts turning the bed. I'm naked, mind you, at this point. And I was like, she asked me if I was doing good, and I yelled at her, "Take me for a ride, Katie." And, and I vividly remember that.
Yeah, we had fun with her.
And I remember the nurses laughing. Like, everyone was laughing. There was good humor. Everyone knew our weird, dark humor.
Yeah.
It was just a good time. There was good music playing all the time. Like, there was never a time where it wasn't good music. And so it was just this crazy time that was happening. There was one point where I was even dancing, and I was excited, and I was dancing to fucking Proud Mary. Mm-hmm. And then when they told me that I went backwards in dilation because my cervix had swollen or swelled, I got so discouraged. But I also, everyone was so amped up and everyone was so encouraging, and the room started getting this energy of like something's gonna happen.
Yeah, and they could tell.
But then all of a sudden it got quiet and everyone left the room. And Katie was looking at me silent. She hadn't been silent this whole time. She had been a great coach.
Well, because during this time, so there was probably 2 to 3 sessions of you actually pushing.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
we didn't get to the pushing yet. Mm-mm. It was just contractions and dilation. Mm-hmm. And the contractions, they're monitoring them. They're getting longer. They're doing everything, but it's plateaued at this point.
Yeah.
And actually, the dilation has devolved. It's gotten smaller.
Yeah. Now we've gone backwards.
Yeah, it was, and we're what, 26, 27 hours into it now?
I think so, yeah. And so the room got this crazy energy with a bunch of people in it getting ready for labor. And then everything just kind of came to a weird halt. And Katie hadn't been quiet this whole time. You were so supportive and you were being great. And I just remember looking over and Katie being quiet and also having this look on her face. And I looked at her and I said, what are my options at this point? I mean, my least thing that I want to do is a cesarean.
And she's been doing this for
Forever.
30 years or something.
And so she said we can keep doing what we're doing, or no, she didn't say or. She said we can keep doing what we're doing, and then if nothing happens within 4 hours, we're gonna have to call it. We're gonna have to do a cesarean.
Yeah.
If nothing's happening. And and I looked at her and I remember, and it like makes me kind of tear up every time because I was really hard on myself and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I looked at her and I was like, I can't do it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I have to fucking tap out right now. Like I can't do this. There's nothing if we keep going, even if we did keep going, I wasn't going to have enough energy to push him.
Well, and I think when you confided in her at that moment and you told her, I don't think I have any more.
Yeah.
She had a moment of relief.
She did. She had a plan, because she had a plan in her head.
You have an option. And if we go this route,
you're most likely going to push and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And if anything, you can gain a little more energy to make this happen. So
she gave me the fentanyl, which she's been doing this for so long that it literally did feel like I drank a glass of wine.
By the way, the amount they gave you was like 0.01.
Because I think that was my fear too. I had a weird fear. So if anyone knows me, they know that my family, I mean, there is a lot of alcoholism and addiction. And I've always loved to be really in control, even when I've been at my drunkest. And that's in quotation marks, because even when I'm at my drunkest, I'm still in control.
Mm-hmm.
I still know what to do where I am. I know how to handle a situation if it were to come up. And I think I was afraid that if I took the fentanyl or had
it's just like those movies, you're like, I'm on the hard stuff now.
I just thought I wouldn't be fully present for what was happening. I wanted to be fully present. I wanted to meet him as sober as possible.
No, they gave you the minimal amount for your body weight.
For sure.
Just to take the pain edge off.
And it did. And it gave me a breath of air. I was able to breathe. I was able to drink some water because I hadn't drank water for at least 5 hours at that point. Not like a good amount of water, you know. And then she got the epidural guy in there, the anesthesiologist, and he was awesome. Rocked it, got it in there. I fucking stood still for it. And then I was able to take an hour nap and drink some chicken broth. And then all of a sudden the energy came back in the room and it was time. Like she checked me and she was like, you're there.
Your contractions are there. Everything's doing it.
And
your nap allowed you to, your inflammation went down, which allowed you to dilate.
It allowed him to rest. It allowed me to rest. Everyone was resting.
Yeah.
And his heartbeat was solid through and through.
Yeah, and then they did do
he had no problems.
the monitoring from within the vagina.
Mm-hmm.
So then they did do that because they just wanted to double check because now it is.
It was time.
Yeah.
And I remember I mean, in hindsight, I was so disappointed that my doctor wasn't going to be